What is good, everybody? It's your boy, the one and only King Tyson, y'all. We back here for another episode 61, y'all. We back here for episode 61. Good God Almighty, there's been a lot that has been going on in the WWE world. Gosh Almighty, we just had Saturday night's main event. Now, and we just had Evolution. Now we're gonna have the aftermath of Evolution on Monday Night Raw, and then we're also gonna have the aftermath for Evolution on Friday Night SmackDown. So it's gonna be a lot. There's a lot going on this week, y'all. There's a lot going on this week. So how was the weekend? Hopefully it was successful, productive, and everything went your way, y'all. Hopefully everything went your way over the weekend, y'all. It is the middle of the week. So how was the week so far? Hopefully it is great. You ain't beating nobody ass, hell y'all. So make sure y'all click that like, share, and subscribe button, y'all. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe to the one and only King Tyson, y'all. On the Raw is Smack Talk. The Raw is Smack Talk, man. This is season 1. Season 2's coming soon, alright? Season 2 is coming soon. So we got a lot, like I said, I got a lot to unpack, y'all. We're gonna talk about Evolution and the aftermath on Monday Night Raw. There's a lot that went down. So let's get into the one and only Evolution. Let's talk about Evolution because a lot happened. Alright. So let's get to Evolution, y'all. Bayley versus Becky Lynch versus Lyra by Carrie, y'all, for the Women's IC Championship. And guess who won that, y'all? As we already know, the one and only Becky Lynch. She retained her championship, y'all. Becky Lynch retained her championship. So big ups to Becky. Big ups to Becky Lynch, y'all. Big ups to Becky Lynch for winning the IC Championship. I really thought Bayley was gonna win it, y'all. I thought Bayley was gonna win, but remember when Bayley gave Becky the belly to belly, y'all. Remember Bayley gave Becky the belly to belly. And then Lyra did her finisher on Becky, and then finally Bayley gave Lyra, the rose plant. She planted her face in the fucking ground, and then Becky came out of nowhere and just stole the pin right under where she stole the pin from Bayley and pinned Bayley. Actually, she stole the pin from Bayley and pinned her, and the ref counted to 3, and that was it. So that was crazy, y'all. So put in the comments, did y'all expect Becky Lynch to retain the championship? Who thought Becky was going to retain? Put it in the comments right here. Put it in the comments, all right? So look, then we had Jacy Jayne versus Jordynne Grace, y'all, for the Women's NXT Championship, and the one and only winner of that match was Jacy Jayne. Jacy Jayne wins, and Jordynne Grace got screwed over by her former friend. Her former friend hit her in the back with the motherfucking NXT Championship, and she went down, and Jacy Jayne clotheslined the shit out of her ass, and that was it. Jordynne went the fuck down, so Jacy Jayne remains the champion. Alright, so let's talk about the Women's Tag Team Championship, y'all. It was a fatal 4-way. It was a fatal 4-way match, y'all. So that was crazy. Let's talk about the Women's Tag Team Championship. As we know, that was in a fatal 4-way match. We had the Kabuki Warriors versus Alexa and Charlotte Flair versus Roxanne and Raquel, they're the Women's Tag Team Champions, and versus the Women's Tag Team, NXT Tag Team with Zarya. And the winners of that match, y'all, was the one and only Roxanne and Raquel, y'all. Roxanne and Raquel came out on top of that. I just knew we was gonna have some new champions. I just knew it was gonna be Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair coming out on top. But they did not come out on top, y'all. I was so pissed off. So basically at the end of the match, Raquel and Roxanne came out and took out everyone. Raquel did her finisher onto Zarya's partner. Yeah, after that, it was the match, y'all. Raquel did her finisher. I mean, she powerbombed the shit out of her ass, dropped her on her fucking back, and that was the match. I said, God damn. So yeah. So put in the comments, who y'all think is gonna take down Raquel and Roxanne Perez? Which tag team will take down Raquel and Roxanne Perez, y'all? Who's gonna take down both of them? Could Jade and Bianca get back together? We don't know. We don't know. We're just gonna have to find out, y'all. Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. So let's keep it moving with Trish versus Tiffany Stratton, y'all. Let's keep it moving with Trish versus Tiffany Stratton, y'all, for the WWE Women's Championship. And the winner of that match was the one and only Tiffany Stratton, y'all. Tiffany Stratton came out on top. There would have been no reason for Trish to win the championship anyway, because like I was saying in the last episode, What storyline does she have? What was her purpose of coming back? Just like Goldberg, what was his purpose? Well, we already know what was the reason of him coming back, but he had no storyline. Well, his only storyline was from, you know, last year, Bad Blood, but that won't shit. But anyway, so Tiffany Stratton ended up defeating Trish Stratus. She retained her championship, y'all. Tiffany Stratton pulls off the win against Trish. So yeah, so Tiffany finally did her finisher on. Actually, Tiffany Stratton did Trish's finisher move. She gave Trish the chick kick, and then Tiffany got on the top ropes and did her famous backflip to Trish and the rough counter, and that was the match, y'all. That was the match. It was crazy. So look, Jade versus Naomi, and the winner of that match was Jade. Actually Naomi was going in on Jade. Naomi was really going in on Jade. She was beating the shit out of her ass. But Jade, did her finisher. She gave Naomi it's called Jaded, y'all. She jaded Naomi through the fucking table, and then Bianca Belair ended up counting. Well, Jade pins and Bianca Belair counts to 3, and that was the fucking match, y'all. That was the match. This shit was crazy. So in the women's battle royal, we had the one and only Stephanie Vaquer. Stephanie Vaquer ended up winning the match. Stephanie Vaquer is now, she's on Raw now. She came from NXT and she did her fucking thing, y'all. She did her fucking thing. Stephanie Vaquer came out for the win. At first, I thought it was gonna be Nia Jax. Really, I thought it was gonna be Nikki Bella, because Nikki Bella was really advertising, herself coming back to the WWE. I just knew it was gonna be Nikki Bella, but it wasn't her. And then I thought it was gonna be Nia Jax. It wasn't her. It wasn't Lash Legend. It was the one and only Stephanie Vaquer. So Stephanie Vaquer will be going to Clash in Paris, y'all, to face the Women's World Champion. Alright? So look, let's keep it moving. Let's go to the main event of Evolution, and that was Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship. And guess what happened, y'all? The unthinkable happened, y'all. The unthinkable. Naomi cashes in her Money in the Bank contract and hit Io Sky in the head. Well, actually hit her in the face with the briefcase and tossed Rhea Ripley out of the ring. Then Naomi did her finisher move onto Io Sky, y'all. She did her finisher move to Io Sky. Naomi pins. The ref counts to 3, y'all. The ref counts to 3, and Naomi becomes the new Women's World Champion, y'all. Just like that. Rhea Ripley and Io Sky did their thing, yo. They had one hell of a match, y'all. They had one hell of a match. But big ups to Naomi, the new Women's Champion. And speaking of Naomi, we're gonna go right into Monday Night Raw, y'all. Let's get into Monday Night Raw. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe to your boy, y'all. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers, y'all. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers, so let's get it. Alright, so Naomi starts off Monday Night Raw, y'all. Naomi starts off Monday Night Raw. And then y'all know that the WWE Universe started cheering for her ass. They was telling her that she deserves it. And Naomi was like, no, fuck that. Don't act like y'all like me now. She said, don't act like y'all like me now. She said, you don't act like y'all like me now. So y'all look crazy right now. So Naomi said nobody knows her next move except her, as we know. Naomi also said that she didn't. She was talking about Bianca, y'all. She was talking about Bianca. She said she didn't betray Bianca. She said she just outgrew her. She said, I just outgrew you, Bianca. I was like, damn. And she was like holding her championship. She was holding her championship. Said, now what? Now what? Naomi said she was tired of that drama that was going on over there on SmackDown with Bianca. And Jay said, fuck both of them. So Naomi says that Jay got her lit back, but at Evolution, she made history. And what she did was we just talk about Naomi just won the Women's World Championship. So continuing on, Naomi tells the ladies in the locker room to proceed with caution, y'all. So that's her little motto right there, to proceed with caution. Alright, so Rhea Ripley comes out pissed the fuck off, y'all. And we all knew that Rhea Ripley was gonna come out. So she came out and she was mad as a bitch, y'all. She was mad as a bitch. She said she came out there with 2 goals. Well, she came to Evolution with 2 goals, and that was to be, Io Sky and become the Women's World Champion. And she said now she still has those goals because of the one and only Naomi. Naomi cashed in, as we just was talking about. Naomi cashed in on that ass. So Io Sky came out. Io Sky was like, she was talking in her language and shit, and Naomi was like, I don't understand shit you just said. I don't understand shit you was just saying. But Io Sky tells Rhea Ripley to get in the back of the line. So get in the back of the line. She said she's gonna beat Naomi. What she wants to challenge Naomi and take the title she stole from her. So Naomi's told Rhea Ripley and Io Sky to get the hell out her motherfucking face. Say, get the hell out of my face. To get y'all title answers out of my face. So Adam Pearce comes out. He was like, I already knew this was about to happen, which we all did. We all knew this shit was coming up. So he came out congratulating Naomi on a win. And he also makes it official, y'all. We got our first, I don't say our first, but we got our next SummerSlam match will be Naomi versus Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley in the triple threat match for the Women's World Championship, alright? For the Women's World Championship. So make sure y'all tune into SummerSlam. That's 3 weeks away. Let's keep it pushing. So we had backstage, we had the Judgment Day. Dirty Dom was worried about AJ Styles still. He said AJ Styles is stalking the shit out of him. So Finn Balor was like, man, fuck AJ Styles. He ain't worrying about AJ Styles. Fuck all that shit. AJ Styles talking about, he said, don't worry about him. He said, because you got that motherfucking doctor's note. So Dirty Dom was like, yeah, you're right about that shit. So Finn was amped up about, Raquel and Roxanne Perez's win at Evolution. He was giving everybody their championships back because everybody in Judgment Day has a title now. Yeah, everybody in Judgment Day has a title now. So Finn tells Dirty Dom to ask Raquel and Roxanne to the ring. And Dirty Dom's like, what the fuck, for? So Finn Balor convinced Dirty Dom to get out to the ring for Liv Morgan. Y'all to get out to the ring for Liv Morgan and how much Liv Morgan loves the tag team titles. They do it for Liv. So it was a match. It was a Kabuki Wars versus Raquel and Roxanne Perez. And the winner of the match was the one and only Raquel and Roxanne. They won the match with the help of Roxanne with a roll-up pin to Asuka because Asuka was on fire the whole match. The roll-up pin to Asuka with the help from Raquel. Raquel helped her pin her, and that was the match, y'all. So Roxanne and Raquel is still on top of the game right now. They're still on top of the game. All right, let's keep it pushing. Let's keep it pushing. This is a Raw Smack Talk, y'all. This is episode 61. You chilling with your boy King Tyson. Let's get it together. All right, let's get it together. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers, ladies. Let's get it together, all right? So let's move backstage. Paul Heyman, they call him the Oracle now. But Paul Heyman is the Oracle. So backstage with Paul Heyman, Jackie asked Paul Heyman about Seth's condition, y'all. Seth Rollins got hurt at Saturday night's main event. So Jackie Reed was asking, Paul Heyman about, Seth's condition, and Paul Heyman basically told her that Seth's condition is irrelevant right now. He said what is not irrelevant is Braun Breaker running the gauntlet in the main event. Y'all, we're going to talk about that later on in the show, all right? So Braun Breaker running the gauntlet and defeating all of his ops and goes to SummerSlam to face Gunther and win the World Heavyweight Championship. So that's what Paul Heyman was saying. So also backstage, Jackie was asking Lyra about the match against, Bayley. She has a 2 out of 3 falls match against Bayley. We also going to get into that match in a few. So Jackie asked Lyra how much of the match is, how much of this match is about the title and how much of this match is personal. And Lyra was like, bitch. She said, I'm so sick of Bayley ass. She said, after this match, we gonna worry about Bayley. She said, we're gonna get back to what it is. Lyra versus Becky Lynch. So Bayley comes up and says that what Lyra needs to do, since she's a move, stay the hell out of my fucking way. So Bayley versus Lyra Valkyria in a 2 out of 3 falls match for the number 1 contenders for the Women's IC Championship. So Bayley got the first fall. She slapped Lyra in her face, and then she did a roll-up pin, and the ref counted to 3. Then Lyra Valkyria got the second fall. She did a roll-up pin to Bayley. And Bayley almost got the third fall when Lyra Valkyria jumped from the top ropes. And then Bayley caught her and did the belly to her ass. But keep it moving though. Lyra was in a crossface, y'all, but she got out of it. She turned into her finisher. She turned that shit into a finisher move. And she pinned Bayley, and that was the match, y'all. So Lyra Valkyria will be facing Becky Lynch at SummerSlam Part 2, y'all. This is Part 2 to the match. Lyra versus Becky Lynch, Part 2 at SummerSlam, alright? Let's keep it pushing. Let's keep it pushing. We'll keep it moving. Karrion Kross, you know, Karrion Kross and Sami Zayn, they have a rivalry going on. And, you know, Sami Zayn is out. He is hurt. And definitely thanks to Bron Breakker and Karrion Kross. They both beat the shit out of him. So Karrion Kross had a promo and he was like, he told Sami to stay his ass home until he say the words, y'all. The words was Kross told the truth, y'all. So he told Sami Zayn to stay his motherfucking ass the fuck home. He said, fuck all that bullshit you talking about. So let's get into the match, y'all. Chelsea Green versus Nikki Bella, because Chelsea Green tossed Nikki Bella out at the Battle Royal at Evolution, y'all. So Nikki Bella said, let's have a match with Chelsea Green. And the winner of that match was the one and only Nikki Bella. Nikki Bella won that match. So Nikki wins the match with a Rack Attack 2.0. So after the match, Piper Niven and Alba Fire takes out Nikki Bella. Then Stephanie Valkyria comes out to save the day. She ended up taking out Alba and Piper Niven, y'all. So that's crazy. So they end up, so Stephanie Valkyria and Nikki Bella end up hugging this shit out and shit. So do y'all see a tag team match coming up? I do. I see Nikki Bella and Stephanie Valkyria versus Alba Fire and Piper Niven, y'all. So I can see that coming up real soon. So how y'all feeling out there? How are y'all feeling? Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe to boy. Let's keep it going on. Let's keep it going backstage. We still backstage. Backstage, the New Day says they're still grieving for the loss of the tag team championships. The New Day still is wearing black, y'all. They still wearing black. I just don't understand the fucking New Day right now. So they bought Adam a gift. Y'all. The gift was a wig. They said Adam needs a fucking wig. They said his bald. I mean, they fried his bald headed ass. They fried his bald headed ass. They said you need some hair on top of that bald head of yours. So Adam was like, fuck that shit. He ended up flipping the wigs and shit. So Adam also sees the Judgment Day leaving. He tells Dirty Dom that as soon as he is cleared, Dirty Dom will be defending his title against AJ Styles, y'all, at SummerSlam. So that's another match. AJ Styles versus Dirty Dom at SummerSlam, and AJ Styles was on his knees praying to God that that Dirty Dom is cleared for the fight. So we're gonna have to see. We are just gonna have to see. Let's keep it moving. Rusev and Sheamus will be having another match soon, y'all. I'm pretty sure because they was talking shit to each other backstage. So Sheamus is like, this rivalry is not over. He said, since you won that first match, he said we need to run that shit back again. Let's keep it moving, y'all. Let's keep it moving. Let's talk about SummerSlam. Let's talk about SummerSlam. Let's talk about the matches that we got so far. We got Cody Rhodes versus John Cena for the Undisputed Championship, y'all. Put in the comments who y'all got. Put them in the comments. What's y'all predictions? Who y'all got winning the match? Who y'all got winning? I believe it's still gonna be John Cena. And then as the new matches we just talking about, we got Naomi versus Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky for the Women's World Championship. Alright? Put in the comments. Then we also got Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria for the Women's IC Championship, of course. And then we got Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill for the WWE Women's Championship. And then we got a tag team match, y'all. We got Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. Put it in the comments who y'all got winning. What's y'all predictions, y'all? Put it in the comments. I want to hear from y'all right here on the Raw and Smack Talk, y'all. Let's keep it moving. RST Nation. Let's do it together, y'all. Let's do it together. Alright. So Gunther comes out, y'all. Gunther comes out. His first words was that he retired Goldberg. He definitely retired Goldberg. He said he retired Goldberg. Gunther did everything he said he was going to do, y'all. Gunther did everything he said he was going to do before the match against Goldberg. So Gunther asked, who is next? But we're going to find out who's next, you know, at the main event with the gauntlet with Bron Breakker. Bron Breakker's in the goddamn 4-man gauntlet. So we're going to talk about that match a little later. So Gunther says he really doesn't care who wins the gauntlet match, y'all. He said he really don't give a fuck. He said because when that bell rings, he's gonna beat the shit out of you. He said he's gonna beat the shit out of you. So Bron Breakker comes out with Paul Heyman And Paul Heyman, you know, shook Gunther's hand and shit. So Paul began to speak, and Gunther cuts him off and tells Paul Heyman, he's like, I'm not interested in nothing. You gotta talk, nothing you gotta say, motherfuckers. I'm not interested in shit you gotta say. So he tried to walk away. Gunther tried to walk out the ring, but Braun Breaker stopped his ass. Braun Breaker stopped his ass and says, and Paul says, not so fast, Gunther. He's like, not so fast. He said, not so fucking fast. What do you think you're doing? Paul tells Gunther that Braun is gonna be the man who's gonna win the gauntlet in a, you know, the win the gauntlet match and defeat. And he's gonna go to SummerSlam and defeat Gunther, y'all. Put in the comments if y'all believe that shit. Put in the comments. Alright, so Paul also tells Gunther that Braun Breaker is gonna beat the holy hell out of Gunther. So, with that said, we have Braun versus Jey Uso versus CM Punk versus LA Knight versus Penta. So Braun Breaker eliminates Penta with the spear. Penta was his first victim. Penta was the first victim. Penta jumped from the top rope, y'all. Penta jumped off the top rope, and then Braun Breaker speared the shit out of his ass. So he eliminated Penta. So then it was LA Knight versus Braun. Braun spears the shit out of LA Knight. LA Knight got eliminated. I was like, God damn. He's just spearing people all over the motherfucking place. Jey Uso was doing his thing, y'all. Jey Uso was doing his thing. Braun Breaker versus Jey Uso. When Jey Uso speared, after Jey Uso speared Braun Breaker, Jey Uso was going on the top rope and did his motherfucking Uso splash, y'all. He's going on the top rope to do Uso splash, but the one and only Bronson Reed came out and distracted, and well, actually he didn't distract him. He pulled Jey Uso from the top rope, and then Braun Breaker speared the shit out of Jey Uso, and he eliminated Jey Uso. So the last and remaining man was the one and only CM Punk, y'all. It was Braun Breaker versus CM Punk. So Bronson Reed came into the match when CM Punk had Braun in a submission. So Bronson Reed gave CM Punk a big ass elbow drop to the motherfucking stomach. Jey Uso came back out, y'all, to help out CM Punk. And he took out Bronson Reed. So when Braun was about to spear CM Punk reversed that shit and gave Braun Breaker the GTS, y'all. He gave Braun Breaker the GTS. The ref pit counts. And that was the match. So it will be CM Punk, y'all. CM Punk versus Gunther at SummerSlam for the World Heavyweight Championship. What are y'all predictions? I believe my prediction for that match, I believe Gunther's gonna win because of Seth freaking Rollins. Remember, Seth Rollins said he doesn't want CM Punk to win anything. He said as long as he's breathing, CM Punk will never have a championship. So that's what I think is gonna happen. So after the match, Bronson Reed ended up attacking, you know, the Bronze. I'm calling them the Bronze. Braun ended up attacking CM Punk. He ended up attacking CM Punk after the match, and Braun ended up spearing Jey Uso, and then Braun Breaker also speared CM Punk too. And then all of a sudden, y'all, out of nowhere, the building gets shut down by the one and only, the OTC Roman Reigns, y'all. Roman Reigns came back and he shook the building. Everybody was screaming, going crazy and shit. Roman Reigns came back out with the Superman punches, and then he speared the shit out of Bronson Reed's big ass. He speared the shit out of his big ass. So Roman Reigns came back. He picked up Jey Uso, and and he looked at CM Punk like, I ain't fucking with you right now. Roman Reigns is here for one thing. Roman Reigns is here for Seth Rollins and his crew. He's here for Seth Rollins, Bronson Reed, and Braun Breaker, y'all. So we can see. I mean, we might have a 6-man tag match going on. Like I said, we will have to find out where this is going. All right. So woo, like I said, that was a lot to unpack. Y'all. So that was it, y'all. That was Evolution and Monday Night Raw, that aftermath. We're gonna get to the aftermath of SmackDown later on this week, y'all. We're gonna get to the aftermath. Alright, so yeah, y'all. So that was, episode 61, the Raw Smack Talk, y'all. I appreciate y'all for coming through, pulling up with me, chilling with me on every episode. I can't say it enough. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, post, repost, keep doing y'all thing, man. Let's go up together. Like I said, we're on the road to 10,000 subscribers. Let's do it together in 2025. All right. So until next time, y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but you're right here with the one and only King Tyson. And I will see y'all on episode 62. I'm out.